This is Bud Everts. I'm an American accent coach with English by the Hour. We're going to produce a series of videos on negotiation, and today we're going to talk about part one, how to effectively negotiate your compensation. And in further videos, I will share with you more insights that we have on negotiating skills, particularly negotiating skills designed to help non-native speakers of American English. We're going to talk about negotiating your compensation, whether you're getting a new job or you're also in an existing job and you'd like to get a raise in your compensation. So you may be able to negotiate very well in your native country, be it China, India, or wherever throughout the world, using your native language. But when you're talking in English and you're talking in American culture, there may be several different rules and mores about how to negotiate that are really important in order to be successful here in the United States. So it really involves a lot of different assets. First of all, speech, understanding of the culture, and your negotiating skills. Many people don't negotiate their salary because they're afraid. They're afraid that maybe their boss will say no, or they're afraid of angering their boss. They don't know what to say, or they don't know how to say it. And what are the unwritten rules about a salary conversation? But it's a very important conversation, and if you think about it, if you can negotiate your salary to increase even just $5,000 per year, that's not just a $5,000 increase, but that increase will apply to every subsequent year as well. So if you're able to negotiate $5,000 per year more this year, over 5 years you're talking at least $25,000, enough to buy a car. So wouldn't you want to do that, even though it may be a little bit fearful to have that conversation? So also, in many jobs, the skill of negotiation is important for that job. So in applying for a new job, the expectation is that you know how to negotiate, and just because they give you a job offer doesn't mean that they expect you to accept it, but they do expect you to come back and negotiate. So it's really part and parcel of the whole job interview process. We're going to break down the negotiation into 3 different steps. Number 1, and probably the most important, is plan. Number 2 is practice. And number 3 is the actual presenting of the conversation. So let's start out with planning. The first thing you want to do is research what are the current salary levels for your job. There's many tools that you can find on the web. Simply by going into Google and typing the title of the job that you're interested in, the city where you'd be doing that job, and the word salary. And it will bring up many different sites. You'll see things like Glassdoor, which bases their salaries on employee input from people who actually work for that company. It'll also direct you to Indeed.com, where they take their salaries from the postings that they do for new hires. Salary.com is based on surveys that are done with employers. And you can actually even get a customized report for a minimal fee where it can really go into a lot of the details of salary based on your experience and other assets. Also, Vault.com is another website to consider. Now, when you're thinking about this, the process for getting your salary approved isn't just your boss, but many times involves upper level people. So make sure that your boss has the assets that they need to be able to get approval from the higher ups in order to make that final decision. Now, in dealing with salary negotiation for a new job, a technique that really works well is when you're asking for certain things, ask for an odd number of things in your salary request. And you want to design that so that the end result will be a yes, a no, a yes, a no, and a yes. That alternating between that and that pattern is extremely important. The reason for that is you want to save the most important point for your final request. So it may be that you have some other requests that aren't necessarily salary, but could be about benefits. but if salary is the most important one, then that would be the third or fifth thing that you would ask for, because you want to end with the most important one. The reason for that is the salary negotiations shouldn't be a process of it's us versus them, but it's really a conversation trying to make it a win-win. You're going to get some no's and you're going to get some yeses, but if you can get that mix, it's a lot easier to get that yes on the final and most important point after you've had a few no's in the conversation as well. So that's a tool that's not well known, but is extremely effective. When you're inserting those things about no's, understanding some of the things that are going to be automatic no's, such as, can I increase the percentage of contribution from the company for my 401k? Except in very rare instances, that's going to be an automatic no. But unless you're a human resource expert, you probably don't know that, and the company is going to have to say no to something like that. Or maybe you'd like to have your insurance enhanced. Unless you're a high-level executive, that's probably not something that's negotiable. So you can insert these questions, which are reasonable questions to ask, but you're almost going to be assured of a no so that you can get those yeses on the other points that you want to do. Also, don't just think of your salary as the only thing that you can negotiate, but you can negotiate a number of other things as well. It could be your bonus potential if the job offers that. Could be stock options, tuition reimbursement if you want to advance your education and have the company pay for that. It could be also other things that enhance your work-life balance, such as vacation time, the ability to have flexible work hours, to telecommute rather than commuting to the place of business, even if that's 1 or 2 days a week. It could be a more prestigious title that looks more impressive on your resume. Or you may even want to go to a professional conference that allows you to travel to some place that's really fun to travel, such as Hawaii or Mexico or Europe. So keep those things in mind. It's more than just about salary. On my next video, I'll continue the planning process for salary negotiation and get into some of the other parts of the process of planning that are critical before you actually have that discussion. So be sure to watch that video as well. Thank you.